You hear these words all the time, right? Purpose-driven, sustainable, ethical. But how do you actually separate the companies that are just talking the talk from those that are truly walking the walk? Well, that's exactly where B Corp certification comes in. Today, we're going to break down what it is, why it's so incredibly difficult to get, and why it just might be the most important credential your company can ever earn.
Yeah, this quote really cuts right to the heart of it. See, anyone can claim to have a purpose, but B Corp demands proof. It's the difference between a mission statement hanging on a wall and a real, measurable impact on the world. So you see, this isn't about good intentions. It's about verifiable results.
Okay, so how do we bridge that gap? How do you get from this vague idea of doing good to becoming a concrete certified B Corp? Here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll start with the big picture problem, then we'll zoom right into the nitty-gritty of what the assessment actually looks at. We'll also expose the hidden roadblocks that trip up most companies, give you a step-by-step guide to get around them, and finally, show you why all this hard work is absolutely worth it.
All right, first up, the purpose-profit gap. Think about a company that makes a big deal about donating a tiny fraction of its profits to charity, but their whole supply chain, maybe not so great for the environment. That's exactly the kind of disconnect B Corp was designed to fix. It's not about what you do with your profits, it's about how you make them in the first place.
And this is the genius of B Corp. It totally flips the script. This is not a badge you buy or a box you can just check off. It's a deep, deep dive into the very DNA of your company. So the real question B Corp asks isn't, hey, do you have a sustainability policy? No, the question is, can you prove, really prove, that your commitment to sustainability actually changes how you do business day in and day out?
Okay, so what are they actually measuring? What does it really take to become a B Corp? Let's pop the hood and see what the inspectors are really looking for. Because this is where the rubber meets the road, and honestly, it's where a lot of companies get completely stuck. Now, you've probably heard of ESG, right? Environmental, social, and governance. Well, think of B Corp as a totally different beast. An ESG report might say a company has a policy to reduce its carbon footprint. But a B Corp assessment? Oh, they're going to want to see the receipts, literally. They want the actual data, the board meeting minutes, the financial investments, the cold, hard proof that your policy is making a real difference.
And it all boils down to this framework. You've got 5 key areas. And here's the kicker. They're all interconnected. What that means is you can't just be amazing on the environment side and totally drop the ball on how you treat your workers. Nope. B Corp demands that you perform well across the entire board. It's about building a company that's genuinely good for the planet, good for its people, and good for its customers.
Okay, so the framework seems pretty clear, right? The goals are definitely noble. But here's the tough truth. Most companies that tried to get B Corp certified, they fail. So why is that? It's because the path is just littered with these hidden barriers. Let's shine a light on them so you can avoid making the same mistakes.
The single biggest hurdle? It's all about evidence. You've got to think of it like a court case. Your good intentions? They're totally inadmissible. The B Corp verifiers? They're the jury, and all they care about are the cold, hard facts. Documents, data, and proof that your actions actually match your words.
And this is where the real nitty-gritty work begins. It's all about transforming your company from one that just does, random acts of kindness here and there, into one that has a systematic, measurable approach to making a positive impact. It's about going from, we should probably do this, to, this is just how we do business, period. And that brings us to what I'd like to call the final boss of the B Corp challenge, governance. See, this isn't just about what you do. It's about who you fundamentally are. B Corp requires you to legally change your company's DNA to prioritize not just profit, but people and the planet. This is a permanent commitment, and that level of accountability, well, it can be pretty daunting, even for the most well-intentioned leaders.
I know. That all sounds incredibly intense, right? But don't worry, we're not just going to leave you with the problems. Now that you know the challenges, let's talk solutions. Here's a straightforward 3-phase game plan to get you B Corp ready.
First up, phase 1 is the baseline assessment. Look, you can't fix what you don't even know is broken, so you have to take a really hard, honest look at your company and find those gaps between where you are and where you need to be. Next, phase 2, systems alignment. This is where you start weaving your impact goals into the very fabric of your business, into things like budgeting and HR. This isn't some side project, it's got to be a core part of your strategy. And finally, Phase 3 is all about documentation readiness. Start gathering that evidence, that proof that you're actually doing what you say you're doing. This isn't just about creating a mountain of paperwork. It's about building an airtight case for your commitment.
But hey, a quick word of warning. These are the common pitfalls, the traps that will absolutely sink your B Corp ambitions. First, do not treat this as a marketing exercise. Second, don't just dump this on your sustainability team and walk away. And third, whatever you do, don't ignore those legal and governance changes until the last minute. This has to be an all-in, top-down commitment from everyone. Anything less, and you're just setting yourself up to fail.
So, after all that hard work, I'm sure you're thinking, okay, but is it really worth it? And the answer is a huge, resounding yes. Let's talk about the strategic payoff, because it's not just about the company, it's about you too.
Look, in a world that is just flooded with greenwashing, B Corp certification is your secret weapon. It is a clear, credible signal to everyone that you are the real deal. It brings in investors who want to back businesses that are truly built to last. It helps you attract and keep the best talent, people who want to work for a company that actually shares their values. And it opens doors to partnerships with other companies you can really trust.
And what about for you personally? Honestly, this is a total game changer. Leading a B Corp certification process, that's not just another project for your resume, it's a true transformation. It proves you're not just a manager, you're a leader. You're someone who can take a big vision and make it a reality. And trust me, that is a skill that makes you invaluable no matter where you go.
So, let's bring it all home. Here's the bottom line. It is easy to say you're committed to purpose. It is incredibly hard to prove it. The B Corp journey is about turning that commitment into a real capability. It's about building a company that's not just profitable, but powerful. So the only real question left is, are you ready to build it?